Well, I'm down on another section of the farm right now, and that particular spot, I wanted to check on a couple of animal tracks that I saw here several days ago. Now, the bad news is we've had a lot of rain, but the good news is that if the same animal passed through, we might be able to tell what kind of track it left. Before we do that, let me give you a little panoramic. This is for all you folks stuck at home with coronavirus out there. I'm sort of like one of two people on 150 acres here. So for us, when we're, what do you want to say, quarantined, there's at least a little bit of backyard space. So anyhow, this is some of the backyard, and if it looks nice, just kind of imagine yourself being here. It's the best we can do for you. I'm sorry everybody's in lockup right now these days. It's a pain in the ass, but I think it's the safest bet. Hopefully we'll all get through this and life will return to normal. Okay, so without further ado, here's a little more. There we go. This is something we call the swamp pasture, and it goes on quite a ways. There's the four-wheeler. I'm not going to show much of that until I can cover up the maker's marks and all on it. I'm not going to advertise for some outfit when they don't want to help with the channel here. They want to change that and help out, then they'll see their products on here. That's with the exception of one that I will talk about, two actually, that I will talk about at some point in the next couple of videos. There's two companies that have done really great stuff for everybody. They didn't do a thing for me, and I don't get nothing out of it, but they have been doing a great thing for folks, and I want to definitely commend them. I do use their products, and they're pretty good. This is a shagbark hickory tree, and they call it that because the bark sort of shags off like this and peels off. And the hickory is pretty good wood. Sometimes they'll call it a pig nut hickory too. And the nuts and such, the animals really love, especially the squirrels. The deer eat them. Now we're going to come down to what makes this place one of my favorites. As you can see, there's a wide creek there, almost as big as a small river. It's not very deep, and that's why they probably never called it a river. And then there's an island over here. And of course, let me zoom in. Some jackass had to throw a tire into the creek, God knows how far away. That's like one of the summer jobs here, is going in and retrieving tires and then trying to find a place to get rid of them. When we have floods, we end up with tires all over on this creekside area of the farm. And the way the farm lays out, there's, I don't know, close to a mile of it. So we get lots of people's junk that floats up here. And that's another video where 5 is going through the low side here and picking up the garbage and getting it off the land. But there we have that. And an interesting thing as we go across, you can see there's a cutout here, besides the tree bottom there. There's a cutout going right between that island. There's actually 2 or 3 on this particular island. And at some point, we're probably going to attempt to negotiate with the owner of that, because it really would work a lot better with my farm than with his. I would love to set it up for sort of country type camping at some point. And it certainly fits in with our pirate activities because we could name it something like Port Royal and hold a big pirate jamboree on it sometime. So that's kind of the view heading down. I'm not using a tripod. I know that somebody probably mentioned it, but you know, it's just a little tough with one guy running around. If I had a smaller camera, it might be a little easier. Alright, so now let's take a walk and look at what I came down here to see. We're on a sort of a wet side of things here. And what I'm most interested in is what kind of footprints or tracks I'm going to see here. Now right down there, I'll try to zoom into it. Zoom probably isn't the best idea here, so let me pull back out a little bit and I'll just aim it down. These prints here, right to the right of the leaf, have been banged into the ground a little bit. They happened before it rained, so they've been peppered a little bit. There's a little fresher one right there, and that's a raccoon footprint. See all the little toes. There's another one right here, and that one I will try to zoom in. Maybe. Can't even find it. There we go. I think that's it. A little hard to see it in this viewfinder. Ah, no, it's going to be over here. Right above the wood, right there. You can see the little, almost in the center of the screen. And then beside it is another one. That's more raccoon. Now we're going to take a bit of a trip through here. And I don't really want to walk through the tracks, but no other way right now. You get strange tracks here too. Like this partial. And then you try to figure out what they are. Sometimes it's hard to figure. Looks like oh wait a minute, looks like a raccoon stepped in a deer track there. And there's another deer track there. And some more raccoon tracks. Okay. The track that I was most interested in is up this way. And it is gone. Yeah, it's gone. You can sort of see it. Sort of see it there. Looks a little like a deer track, but it's not. What I saw in it before was 4 claw prints and a large heel. The heel part was probably about 8 or 10 inches back from where the claws were. And I was showing a picture of it to a friend and said, hey, if you ever wanted to see a dogman track, it's probably one of them right there. Now, there has been enough crazy stuff on this farm to call it cryptid acres, I think. And as we get into these videos, I'll tell you some stories that happen at various parts on the farm here. And this lane goes down that way. We'll take a walk through there and then through what we call the frog pasture. It gets filled up with little frogs in the summer, and you hear them a quarter mile away. So let me swing this around one more time. This is not easy to do. Anyway, as I was saying, there are some strange things that happen on this farm, and we ought to call it cryptid acres. When back in the 80s, 1980s, someone thought they saw a Bigfoot here, and they actually put up a little shack where they could sit for days at a time to watch for Bigfoot. Now, during that period, there were also sightings of Bigfoot in the area here. And as to my knowledge, nobody ever got a good picture or anything. And game cams weren't as prevalent then as they are now. I have a couple of game cams, but right now they're on security duty around the farm. And eventually, as I get more, I'll start putting them out. And if there is something to be seen, we'll probably see it. Now, with regard to cryptids, we had a bear seen through here about 1.5 years ago, which I didn't see. Coyotes all over. And I told you a little story about how the coyotes displaced the foxes, but now something has displaced the coyotes. The coyotes would get so brazen that they would chase the farm cats up on the house porch, and they would sit out in the darkness howling. And usually I'd either go out and fire a shot or crack a bullwhip, and then they'd all run off for the night. And if you're interested in bullwhips and things like that, you have come to the right place, because that's part of what we do out here too. And that's part of what we do with the pirate stuff and some of the leather stuff that we make. Anyway, before I digress too far, another neighbor last year, which we did have a cold winter last year, which was good, claimed he saw a huge python. Now, this is up in Pennsylvania, not too far from Hershey. And we don't grow pythons here by nature. And my thought is that either one got away from someone or they tossed it because it got too big. But he was saying that this python that he saw was probably 14 foot long. Now, we've all looked around for it, looked for skin, looked for skeleton. Haven't found it yet. My presumption is that it should have died during the winter because they can't take that cold. However, we had a mild winter. And if that thing happened to have gotten into a groundhog hole, he probably did quite well through the winter. Groundhog holes can go down pretty deep, and their tunnel systems can be pretty extensive. So if a big snake like that happened to get down in a groundhog hole, he would have had a source of food, the hibernating groundhogs, and he would have been warm. So we're going to keep an eye out for him whenever we're going around the farm. Of course, we'll keep an eye out for Bigfoot. We'll keep an eye out for the bears. And if there is a dog man here, we're going to keep a good eye out for that one. So with that said, I'm going to kind of cut this off right now. I've got one more camera to go check and another one to relocate, and hopefully we'll get another video out tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We hope you'll subscribe. I think you'll find that we do all kinds of stuff here, including a secret mine that we have. So you'll see some real interesting stuff, from blacksmithing to leather work to heading out for pirate events once people can get back on the water. And then probably some schooner sailing once we get down to Baltimore and get that thing fixed up again. So thanks for watching. So long now.